Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Reach out to me for pricing at tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we discuss a watch launched in 2008 that has become the design face of Glashütte Original. This is the PanoInverse XL. Glashütte Original is the oldest watchmaking factory in East Germany, and this is its design flagship. So it is a very important standard bearer for the company, for the region, and for German watchmaking as a whole. And it is very clever, being 42 millimeters in white gold, 13 millimeters thick, 48.9 millimeters from lug to lug, and 20 millimeters between the lugs. It's large, but it's not huge. Taking a quick look on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. Again, think full-sized watch, not oversized watch. I recommend you have a wrist of at least 15 centimeters circumference to wear this. You can see on my wrist of 16 centimeters, the lugs aren't quite out to the edge on either side, though they're getting there. That said, it is quite a flat watch with a sloped bezel, so it will slip underneath the cuff. Although extravagant, it is still a dress watch. Taking a look at the strap, exceptionally large, rectangular and symmetrical scales of alligator leather, so a very high-priced cut, super premium, bolstered to give it volume and thickness. You can see there's a matte finish, a monotone stitch, a folded edge, and then on the back, black calfskin to match a brand new Glashütte Original factory strap. We have a matching white gold deployant clasp here, and it is gray gold, the type of white gold that's white all the way through and doesn't require a rhodium plate. You can see the logo externally, as well as a combination of polish and satin for contrast. The point of a deployant clasp is to make it harder to accidentally drop your watch while you are donning it or removing it. Taking a quick look at the case, elegant, graceful. The lugs are stepped out, though they don't have a step and a crease the way, say, a Lange does. A Lange has a pronounced gap between the lug profile and the case. Here we have lugs that project out from the case, but there's nothing but a seam between them. They are a little bit more contiguous than you'll find on a Lange. You can also see that this case is rounded in profile, broken up somewhat by the hinge of the case back, but it's unmistakable. This is not a sheer case band. Everything's polished and elegant. You can see the Glashütte Original logo on the crown. We have a bezel with a short vertical outward face, and then it's conical, and then there's an inward step that abuts the chamfered sapphire, and you can see that stepped flange inboard has a contrasting satin finish. Now the dial is where all the action is here. This is why the watch is a design icon. It's not so much the case design, which you'll find on a lot of Geo watches. It's the fact that they decided the best part of a traditional German watch is the case back. So bring it to the fore, bring it to the front, and that's what we have here. You can see all of the elements that truthfully, Lange helped to establish as German watch design signatures in the modern era. Remember, this company is the successor to the historic Lange und Söhne, but the one operating under Richemont ownership is sort of a startup that is maybe a spiritual successor, even though this one's the legal successor. Well, that spiritual successor realized that beautifully finished movements were a selling point. What Geo did was take the idea of a Lange-style movement with the three-quarter plate, the jewels set in chaton, the freehand engraving on the balance bridge, and bring it all to the dial side. And that's exactly what they've done right here. You could see we have Glashütte stripes across the bridge, and it's a three-quarter style like a pocket watch where you'd have the barrel and all the drivetrain under one bridge. We have freehand engraving, but not on a single-sided balance cock as with Lange, but on a dual-sided balance bridge, so you have more of the freehand engraving, but also because it helps better brace the balance against shock. And you can see what they call the duplex swan's neck fine adjustment system, where we have two of them for making small adjustments. You can also see that we have elements like the jewels set in gold and chaton, another nod to the pocket watch era. Unnecessary, but beautiful in the modern era. And then to ensure it doesn't look too much like a Lange, they decided to go with a rhodium silvered coating on the bridges and the base plate. You can see on the base plate that there is engine turning or perlage, and we have both polished screws on this dial and fired blued screws. We also have rose gold alpha style hands for the hours and minutes, rose gold numerals and applique indices, overlapping registers for the hours and minutes and the small seconds. We do have a power reserve indicator up at about 1 o'clock. The watch does feature hacking seconds with the caliber 6601. It's a manual wind with a 42-hour power reserve, and it has that power reserve indicator. It is 5-position adjusted, which is the high horology and chronometer standard. Let's take a look. The watch actually does have some lume, which is a bit surprising. And then you could see that there's actually 2 standards of beveling on the dial. One standard is on the edge of the 3/4 bridge, which you can see is almost entirely mechanically. You can almost see the milling marks even in my camera right here. But if you take a look at the actual duplex bridge, you could see that it is mirrored on its side. Now, it looks like that bridge was started mechanically, just like the 3/4 plate, but then finished by hand to create that mirrored shine. So there is a distinction there, and that's important. We have a Hunter case back, a bit baffling since there's not a whole lot to see underneath the reverse. You can see that these are individually numbered, that it's white gold, that it's 30 meters water resistant, and that it pivots on 31 jewels, and that it's made in Germany. We have more pivots inside golden chaton cup. The idea here was that back in the pocket watch era, it wasn't always possible to precision fit a jewel into a bridge or a plate, but a precision gold chaton cup could be made, and then the chaton would be fitted into the bridge and held in place with screws, and that's what's going on here. We also have 2 black polished steel access covers for maintenance of the watch, which are handsome, if a little bit austere. All the action here is on the dial side. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this PanoInverse XL.